Welcome back. Thanks for staying with me. We're on the second half of today's stories on World News. I'm Randolf Jamias. Heading the news, at least 14 people died after a suicide bomber blew up his car in a northwestern Pakistan market. The death toll of the Saturday blast is likely to rise since many of the wounded are in critical condition. The attack appeared to target members of a pro-government militia created to fight Taliban rebels. Pakistan's military has launched several offensives against the Taliban and other militant groups, but has so far failed to break the back of the rebel networks. Meanwhile, in England, some metro trains and transport hubs came to a standstill in London due to a sudden power outage of the national grid on Friday night. All stranded passengers were not completely evacuated until early Saturday morning. The sudden power outage occurred during rush hour on Friday afternoon, interrupting signals of some of the local metro trains and railways in London. Some transport hubs such as London Victoria Station, London Bridge Station, and Waterloo Station came to a standstill after the power failure. The London Metro and other railway companies that were still in operation provided free transport service to stranded passengers as electricians worked tirelessly to restore power supply to the affected areas. All affected railway lines came back into operation on Saturday morning. After investigation, it was determined that a power breakdown in South London was responsible for the accident. Railway companies are now assessing the damage brought by the power outage. Let's travel back in time and discover some 215 million years old turtle fossils that were unearthed in southern Poland. They are the world's most ancient and complete known remains of their kind and could provide priceless clues to the mysterious origins of this ancient reptile, venerated in cultures the world over. AFP has more.
Despite a few dents and chips, this tortoise shell is rather well preserved, especially for one that's 215 million years old. So far, only one other tortoise shell from the late Triassic period was found back in the 19th century in Germany. The Polish researchers who made this new discovery have had much better luck.
What distinguishes our discovery is that we found these fossils in excellent condition, like this leg bone, which has never been found anywhere else in the world.
It was here in 2008, near Poręba in southwestern Poland, that Tomasz made this incredible discovery. But its venerable age was just recently confirmed. The site, which had been dug up next to a garbage dump, turned out to be a treasure trove for paleobiologists. They also found dinosaur teeth and shark fossils, among others.
There were very specific environmental conditions here that allowed these bones to become fossils, preserved to this day, rather than be dissolved by acids, corroded or otherwise damaged.
This summer, another tortoise fossil turned up, not far from the first. The shells could give researchers fresh clues about the origins of modern turtles. To date, more than 300 species have been found across the globe, but nearly half of them are now endangered. These reptiles are classed in three categories: terrestrial tortoises and freshwater or marine turtles, and some live much longer than humans.
Some species, such as giant turtles from the Galapagos or the Aldabra in the Seychelles, can easily live over 100 years. There have been instances of turtles living up to 120 years.
Researchers can't tell whether the prehistoric turtles lived as long as their contemporaries, but the fossils from Poland have certainly stood the test of time.
Back in the U.S., the annual Miramar Air Show kicked off Friday in San Diego, California, mesmerizing spectators with aerial stunts, flight demonstrations, and ground displays of civilian and military aircrafts. The three-day air show, taking place at the Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, is known as the largest exhibition of military aircraft across the United States. The daily show of aerial stunts began at 9 a.m. on Friday with the U.S. Navy's flight demonstration Squadron Blue Angels lifting off around 14:45. Other aerobatic flight demonstrators included a B-25 Mitchell bomber, an F-22 Raptor fighter jet, and several civilian aircrafts, among them the Oracle Challenger and the Red Bull helicopter. A twilight show is scheduled to start at 17:30 on Saturday, which will feature FA-18 fighter jets, fireworks display, and the Great Wall of Fire, which organizers bill as an incredible and intense inferno. Another showcase, but this time some vintage cars in China. The 2012 China Rally of International Classic Cars came to a close in Shanghai on Saturday. Over 30 vintage cars in the 7-day event includes a 1930s Bentley with an 8-liter engine, a Porsche 911 Carrera owned by a German museum, a 1966 Lamborghini 400 GT, and 1956 Volkswagen Beetle. The rally brought the classic vehicles 1,600 kilometers from Beijing to Shanghai. The classic vehicles traveled at speeds averaging over 60 kilometers per hour, with some reaching up over 100 kilometers per hour. It has been reported that an exhibition will be held in China for these classic cars later, and they also will participate in an inaugural champion racing carnival at the Shanghai International Circuit in November. Back at the Shanghai Open, world number 2 Novak Djokovic cruised into the final of the Shanghai Masters with a straight sets win over Thomas Berdych of the Czech Republic on Saturday. Djokovic defeated Berdych 6-3, 6-4 and will face either world number 1 Roger Federer or U.S. Open champion Andy Murray on Sunday. The Serbian converted his second break point to lead 5-1 in the first set before Berdych, seeded fourth, put up some fight to slow his progress. Djokovic was equally impressive in the second set, capitalizing on an early break to lead 4-2 before eventually serving out for victory.
Against top 10 player is always a challenge, but I was playing great tennis, especially in the first set, and I got a little bit shaky towards the end of the first set, but managed to hold on. And thought that that I was very solid from the baseline. I was moving very well, which was obviously crucial against a big hitter like Thomas.
We end our stories in a golf event in Portugal. Bernd Weisberger took the lead at the last hole of the third round of the Portugal Masters on Saturday from playing partner Ross Fisher. Weisberger shot a second consecutive 65 for 13 under 200, while Fisher bogeyed the 18th and 69 and 12 under 201. Veteran Miguel Angel Jimenez of Spain finished joint sixth with a 68 for 8 under 205, ending on a birdie. Alongside him was England's Mark Foster, who also birdied the last for 67. Lowry also shot 67 in the third round. The Irishman sank 2 birdies and a bogey out, then came back with 4 birdies and a bogey at the last. Campbell finished on 4 under 67, but recording a bogey at the last. Englishman Fisher hit 2 birdies and 2 bogeys in the first 9, but bogeyed the last. His eagle attempt for the bunker at the 11th was the shot of the day. Austria's Weisberger birdied the 8th and 9th, then the 11th through to 14th, his first bogey-free round of the tournament. That's all we have for today. Stay tuned for the local news. I'll see you again next time.